Hi, everyone. I need to tell you something that's been sitting heavy on my chest for over a year. It's the kind of story you don't just make up. It's too weird, too real, too heavy. And maybe sharing it here will finally help me process what happened. Because even now, when I think back to those nights, I get chills. So, let me take you back. I used to work as a night security guard at a storage facility. You know the type? Endless rows of metal doors, flickering lights, long, echoing hallways. Cold in winter, sticky in summer. Not glamorous, but hey, it paid the bills. And honestly, most nights were boring. Just me, the security monitors, and the humming of the vending machine down the hall. At least, that's what I thought. The first time it happened, it was around 2:30 in the morning. The motion alarm tripped in Unit 117. That wasn't unusual. Sometimes a rat or a draft would trigger it. But when I walked down the corridor, I swear I heard something from inside. Not movement, not the rustle of boxes. It was voices, whispers. I stopped dead in my tracks, tilted my head, held my breath, and yeah, I heard it again. Muffled, low, like two people whispering, afraid to be overheard. My heart started racing. I knocked on the metal door. "This is security. Anyone in there?" Silence. For a moment, I thought I'd imagined it, but then a soft thud, like something dropped. I froze. Now here's the weird part. The lock on the door, it hadn't been touched. It was still snapped shut exactly where it should have been. So how could anyone be inside? I logged it in my report, told myself it was nothing. But the next night, same time, same unit, same damn alarm. Only this time, when I shined my flashlight, I thought, and maybe I was sleep deprived, but I thought I saw the lock shift, like it had been removed and put back in the split second before I turned the corner. By the time I got there, it was in place. But my gut told me something wasn't right, so I checked the files. Unit 117 was rented to a guy named David Miller, paid in cash, always on time. The notes said he hadn't opened the unit in months. Months. And yet, here I was, hearing whispers, catching noises, alarms going off in the dead of night. It didn't add up. I decided to run a little test. Old trick. The next evening, before my shift started, I dusted the lock and handle with baby powder. Just enough to catch fingerprints, invisible in the dark. That night, sure enough, 3:07 a.m., alarm. I jogged down the hall. Everything was silent. Too silent. But when I lifted my flashlight, I saw it, clear as day. Fresh fingerprints smeared across the powder. Someone had touched that lock, recently. When I told my boss, he waved me off. "Probably raccoons," he said. "Raccoons in a locked storage unit." He chuckled, told me not to worry. But I knew what I'd seen. So I made a decision. If management wouldn't take it seriously, I would. The following night, I skipped my usual patrol. Instead, I sat in the shadows near Unit 117. No flashlight, no radio, just me, in silence, watching. Minutes passed. Then, an hour. The building was quiet, except for the hum of the exit light. Then, it happened. A soft, metallic click. My pulse spiked. Someone was opening the lock from the inside. I held my breath, waiting. The door rattled, then rolled up slowly. And that's when I aimed my flashlight. What I expected? Thieves, vandals, junkies maybe. What I saw? That's burned into my memory forever. A man, a woman, and a little girl. Standing there, squinting into the light, eyes wide like deer in headlights. The girl clutched a stuffed rabbit so tight her knuckles turned white. The father raised his hands, palms open. "Please," he said. His voice cracked. "Please don't call the cops." I was frozen. My training, my instincts, none of it prepared me for this. They weren't criminals, they weren't vandals. They were living there, in the damn storage unit. I lowered the flashlight, told them to step out. The man was shaking, explaining in a rush. They'd lost their house, Shelters were full. They had nowhere left to go. A friend had let them use the storage unit as a last resort. 4 walls, a roof, better than the street. They stayed quiet during the day, only moved at night, whispering so no one would hear. That's what I'd been hearing all along. Not ghosts, not intruders. Just a family, trying to survive. I looked at the little girl. She couldn't have been older than 8. Her hair was messy, her eyes sunken with exhaustion. But she clung to that rabbit like it was the only safe thing in her world. And in that moment, I couldn't do it. I couldn't call the police. So I did the only thing that felt right. I went to the vending machine, bought every snack I could carry, and brought it back to them. Here, I whispered, eat. The mom's hands trembled as she took the food. The little girl smiled for the first time. For weeks, I kept their secret. I slipped them food when no one was watching. I let them shower in the employee bathroom once. But hiding something like that? It never lasts. The cameras caught me sneaking supplies, management noticed, and eventually, the family was discovered. The police came, not with guns drawn, but with cold indifference. They escorted them out like trash, and just like that, they were gone. I never saw them again. But I'll never forget. That night taught me something I didn't expect. Everyone thinks security is about protecting property. Locks, boxes, stuff. But sometimes, the real things worth protecting are the people, even if they're hidden in the shadows, even if the world looks at them like criminals. That little girl's eyes, her whisper when she begged me not to tell, it still echoes in my head, and that's my story.